Hello. The Liberal Democrats have been told by their acting leader to show unity and purpose after the resignation of Mark Oaten. The party's Home Affairs spokesman resigned yesterday after allegations that he'd had an affair with a rent boy. Sir Mingus Campbell said the party had to draw together and move forward. Our political correspondent Libby Vina reports.
The curtains remained closed at Mark Oaten's Hampshire home today, the former Home Affairs spokesman keeping well out of sight. Just 10 days ago, he was bidding to lead the Liberal Democrats. Now his career is over, destroyed by allegations of an affair with a male prostitute. Only last week he was telling ITV News that the government needed to grow up in its attitude to prostitution.
I think most people would like to see prostitutes off the streets so that they're not in residential areas or they're not in areas where it's very high profile that they're there.
But after the revelations about him, can the party now be taken seriously?
Mark has been very straightforward about this. He's apologised to his constituents who've been served very well, his family, and I think he needs the time and the privacy to consider things with his family.
But just 2 weeks after Charles Kennedy resigned over his drink problem, the party's in turmoil. Ming Campbell's shaky debut at Prime Minister's Questions did little to calm nerves, the departure of Mark Oaten adding to the sense of crisis. In his constituency, there was disbelief at what's happened.
Well, I think it's quite disgraceful, particularly as a man in public life.
Obviously bad judgment on his part, but I mostly felt sorry for his personal situation and I hope that he gets it sorted out.
In reality, this weekend's revelations were something that no politician could survive. The question now, how much damage have they inflicted on Mark Oaten's party? Libby Vina, ITV News at Liberal Democrat headquarters.
The England coach Sven-Göran Eriksson has been called to a meeting with his bosses tomorrow to explain allegations he's reported to have made about corruption in English football. The News of the World newspaper quotes Eriksson as having suspicions about some transfer dealings. The former sports minister, David Mellor, said he didn't believe the FA could regulate the game properly.
If you don't look, you don't find. And the FA doesn't look because the FA is useless. Everything begins and ends with the uselessness of the FA. They are the regulators who do not know how to regulate. And as long as football tolerates the FA, it will never be a clean game.
Well, a spokesman for the FA tonight dismissed those comments. They said it would be wrong to preempt the discussions that are planned with the England manager tomorrow. Some other stories making the headlines tonight. A gas pipeline running from Russia to the neighbouring state of Georgia has been blown up in an apparent act of sabotage. The Georgian president demanded a response from Moscow. He alleged the blasts were aimed at destabilising Georgia. Residents were forced to queue for gas after the entire country was cut off. An expert in marine mammals has begun a post-mortem on the London whale, which died of natural causes last night. Rescuers say they still believe the decision to move the whale was the right one. And this was the spectacular scene when a car park in Liverpool was demolished today. It's making way for a £750 million regeneration scheme called the Paradise Project. Chelsea's lead at the top of the Premiership was cut today, but it's still an almost unassailable 14 points. They could only manage a draw, while Charlton, second-place Manchester United, beat Liverpool, who stay third. Just when it seemed that a forgettable contest at Old Trafford was heading for what it deserved, a goalless draw, Rio Ferdinand rose above the mediocrity to steal victory in the very last minute. And finally, much of Britain's grey squirrel population is to be culled. It'll focus on areas where the animals are damaging woodland and preventing red squirrels from becoming established. The grey squirrel was introduced into the country from North America in the 19th century, but the animal is now regarded as a pest. That's all the news for now from the entire weekend team. Thanks for watching and good night.
ITV National Weather, sponsored by Powergen.
Yes, Jack Frost comes out at night and paints frost on windows. I'll give him community service myself.
Hello, good evening. It's a dry night. We have clear slots around, in turn leading to fog and frost, and especially thick fog for East Wales, the West Midlands and parts of the north of England as well. Cloud and patchy rainfall up in the very far northwest, breezy conditions here as well. And we hang on to the rain and the cloud as we go into our Monday morning in these parts. For the most part, it's very much a mixture of sunshine as well as cloud. And temperatures, well, in the northwest, fairly mild. 9 is 48 degrees in Fahrenheit. In the southeast, however, a good couple of degrees down in today's values. 3s and 4s. 3 is 37 in Fahrenheit. As for the outlook, fairly uneventful, mainly settled, but maybe some wintry flurries in the east by the end of the week. Good night.
Positive energy from Powergen.
Before I ever catch you, young Frost.
Hello there. Well, let's start the game by putting things in context weather-wise. And as you can see from the radar and satellite from earlier on today, there was a fair amount of cloud right across the UK and also a band of rain in the far northwest that's been heading its way southeastwards. Down here in the south, we profited from some reasonably clear skies, although out to the east, there has been a fair amount of cloud. And in fact, we're holding on to that cloud overnight tonight. And that in turn is stopping those temperatures from just about hitting the freezing mark. But elsewhere across the region, principally up to the northwest of London, we are going to see freezing, or in fact, just below. So as a result, there will be a widespread frost, particularly in sheltered rural spots. There will also perhaps be some mist patches forming overnight as well, so do watch out if you're driving anywhere late tonight. And tomorrow offers us a fairly quiet day weather-wise. There will still be some winter sunshine around, broken up occasionally by some passing cloud. Light winds blowing in from the southeast, but a noticeably cooler feel to things. Temperatures, in fact, are much more modest tomorrow. We're looking at highs of between 3 and 4 degrees Celsius. Now let's have a look then at the middle part of the week. And certainly for both Tuesday and Wednesday, it's set reasonably fair, a certain amount of sunshine once again, although we could see any overnight mist fairly reluctant to clear during the course of both of these mornings. Temperature-wise, we're matching tomorrow's values at between 3 and 4 degrees Celsius, although there is a change afoot, and this starts to make its presence felt during the course of the day on Thursday with the arrival of some thicker cloud and some spots of rain as well. But by Friday, we're going to have some biting winds blowing in towards us from the east, temperatures between 2 and 3 degrees Celsius, and also 1 or 2 wintry showers heading our way too. A very good night.